No matter how the cachet of the WNBA elevates, remember, it could have been even better. You messed it up. You messed it.
Caitlin Clark might have gotten an offer from Europe that would change the WNBA forever.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
As Caitlin Clark's move to Europe appears increasingly likely, the WNBA is moving quickly. Maybe you ought to think about showing your big celebrity a little more respect right now. The WNBA will suffer greatly from Caitlin. Without Cece, who would watch?
I know she will do her best. I know she's talented, but she's not strong enough and she doesn't have enough experience right now to compete at this.
These are the people you are inexperienced with and won't be able to handle the WNBA issues Caitlin faced during the season. And observe what transpired. The WNBA was in shambles as she blasted her way through broken records like there was no future.
Nonsense about things that Caitlin was doing wrong when, in my personal opinion, she was doing nothing but going out there and playing great basketball every night and ignoring the hate that was coming to her from all sides, not only from...
Caitlin was left with no other choice by these analysts. It's enough that there is still animosity toward her. She needs a fresh start in a league that truly appreciates its top players and keeps them from being singled out.
And look at what the NBA became. Even when Jordan was ascending and the league clearly saw that that was the dude and Nike was marketing the living hell out of Michael Jordan. I want to be like Mike. It was still bird and match.
Caitlin Clark reportedly received a fantastic contract offer to perform in Europe. There is more to the story, even if it seems like she is ready to accept it. Caitlin Clark has encountered numerous difficulties in the WNBA despite all the attention, respect, and undeniable influence she has had on the sport. From inadequate help on the court to the league's incapacity to defend its best players. These difficulties have led to what may be one of the most unexpected career choices we have ever witnessed. Caitlin has finally had enough of the WNBA's treatment of her, and she's ultimately deciding to quit the league after experiencing countless frustrations. The WNBA might be rocked to its core by the fallout from her departure. Fans applaud Caitlin Clark's audacious choice to leave the WNBA and relocate to Europe. Caitlin Clark has clearly had enough. We have repeatedly seen rival players get away with guarding Clark with excessive aggressiveness, often going overboard with aggressive and occasionally hazardous play. Yet she hasn't always received the attention or consideration that a talent of her magnitude merits from the WNBA. It seems as though the league has allowed these techniques to continue, whether it is because of the lack of protection on the court, the persistent targeting by other players, or the league's seeming apathy.
Making a basketball argument. We're making a basketball argument.
We're not saying
No, Andrea, I'm not going to let you do that.
Go ahead.
Andrea, I'm not going to let you make it seem like Caitlin Clark was averaging 5 points a game. At the time, she was still averaging 16 points a game, which was more than a lot of other guards that made the team. So don't do that. Don't make it seem like she was averaging 5 points and this was like a handout.
No, it wasn't a handout.
Look at her numbers. Look at her numbers comparable to the other guards that were on the team. That's all I'm...
One could even contend that the WNBA has permitted this behavior to persist because they know that Clark's presence on the court draws attention and boosts viewing. A little drama does, after all, spark conversation. However, Caitlin feels that there is no longer enough protection. The social media uproar from her supporters, who have been calling for greater protection, justice, and respect for their beloved player, has drawn attention from fans. However, not much has changed. Clark feels abandoned, as though the league didn't care enough to implement the required adjustments.
We're watching women's basketball right now. It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize.
And after enduring season after season of unfair treatment and targeting, Caitlin Clark is at last paying attention to her followers. She has decided to take control of her career by leaving the WNBA since she has had enough of the league's indifference. Clark is looking for a new chapter where her extraordinary talent, enthusiasm, and impact on the game will be acknowledged, as they have long been. Now, let's talk about the repercussions. There's no denying that the WNBA is on the verge of a major downturn. And the reason for this is that they failed to recognize Caitlin Clark's critical role in the league's success. The WNBA would immediately lose viewers and revenue without Clark. Everyone watched Caitlin Clark whenever she was on the court, since she was a major attraction for the league, regardless of whether they were casual watchers or ardent basketball fans. Clark, Caitlin.
Fact that she was getting all of that, yet all of these eyeballs were coming to the league because of her. The Indiana Fever was turning away games into home.
The enormous burden of replacing the vacuum created by her departure now falls to the WNBA. Although there are other gifted players in the league, such DJ Carrington and Angel Ree, let's be honest, they lack Clark's strength and personality. Their talent is not diminished by this. Although they are both excellent athletes, Caitlin Clark was performing at a completely different level. She was more than a performer.
She was a force for change.
Furthermore, the WNBA wasn't the only attraction. She was a must-watch athlete because of her fearless shooting ability to dominate games and her competitive nature. The WNBA is just now realizing how much of an impact Caitlin Clark has. Millions of cash would be made from ticket sales, merchandise, TV agreements, and sponsorships if Clark were to pass away. It will all have a significant negative impact, and worse, it was all preventable. The league had every chance to show Caitlin the respect she deserved as the league's spokesperson, protect her on the court, and provide her the support she required. However, they were unsuccessful.
Draft day viewership, which was up 400% to 40%. Between ticket sales, which is up 93% to 16%. Between regular game viewership, which is up 180% to 20%. What Caitlin Clark has done is grown the WNBA exponentially. She did in 5 weeks what would have taken 5 years. And as it pertains to draft viewership, she did in 5 days.
They will now have to pay for allowing issues to get worse. The WNBA will soon find out how much they lost. As a result, Caitlin's exit is a tipping moment that might have catastrophic consequences for the league going forward. In Europe, what particularly has Caitlin Clark been promised? The startling numbers being thrown around would halt anyone in their tracks. According to multiple sources, the contract she has been guaranteed is far more than anything the WNBA has ever awarded in the EuroLeague, where players are treated like kings. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for Caitlin. She decided to move overseas since she would not only make a lot more money but also have the benefit of playing less games, which would give her more time to relax, recover, and perform at her best.
Be a team overseas who would love to snatch Caitlin Clark away from us and give her a crazy offer. I mean, Ice Cube was about to give her $5 million to play in less than 10 games. And
Europe is providing Caitlin the chance to represent the entire league in addition to offering her contract. Imagine the lights going down, thousands of fans roaring loudly, and Caitlin walking onto the court. Every shout from the audience reverberates throughout the stadium as she comes up to take a deep three, demonstrating the tangible intensity in those packed arenas. But things are different this time. The spectators are there for more than just a basketball game. They support her. Knowing this, the EuroLeague is prepared to use her as their brand's spokesperson and treat her like the global celebrity that she is.
All of this comes together and you need a star. And she is.
It's not only about Europe providing Caitlin with a new avenue for dominance. Making her the biggest basketball star in the world is another goal. Europe is ready to make sure Caitlin Clark shines brighter than ever before as she gets ready to embrace a new age of stardom, with arenas full of devoted fans who cheer and love every move she makes. However, she is not the only one who is making noteworthy progress. By following the same path, more WNBA players are starting to explore better opportunities. For example, it has been reported that Melissa Smith and Kelsey Mitchell will play in China during their off-season, while Caitlin will travel to Europe. As WNBA players realize that playing overseas not only offers significantly higher pay, but also better treatment overall, they are progressively embracing this trend. The WNBA's wage scale just cannot compete with that of other international leagues in terms of both experience quality and compensation.
Molly, I said...
Really, Molly? Wow.
Melissa, Kelsey, and Caitlin are among the players who are benefiting from fewer games, more rest, and increased income. Comparing the schedule, pay, and player care provided abroad makes the decision to play abroad practically obvious. Why more sportsmen are taking this route is simple to comprehend. While all of this is happening, Jason Whitlock thinks Caitlin should be the star of an unparalleled league where the top players battle against one another during the WNBA soft break. As a result, athletes like Melissa Smith and Kelsey Mitchell wouldn't have to travel overseas to get paid. Instead, they have access to an unparalleled league pact of skill in America where they can earn their money. Players will have more opportunities as a result, and they will be able to capitalize on the women's game's growing skill. We still have some amazing opportunities. They will not be paid what they are entitled to. Rather, they will need to make money from sponsorships. However, this unparalleled league concept gives Caitlin Clark and the WNBA a completely fresh perspective. This change ought to be a huge wake-up call for women's basketball. The league is in grave danger of losing not only Caitlin Clark, but also other elite players. The WNBA may experience a mass exodus of talent if they don't take action and reconsider how they pay and treat their players. It's obvious that players no longer have to accept fewer wins. They can get a lot more from international leagues. The WNBA must reconsider its goals if it hopes to prevent an even greater talent drain in the future. And quickly.